Welcome to members of the football, member of the public and to members to the Recreation Planning and General Purposes Committee on 28th of November. Item 1 is apologies for absence.
Councillor Ine and Councillor Skipworth.
Yes. That's moved by Joyce, seconded by Daniel. All those in favour? 9. You against, Martin? Or
abstaining.
Item 2 is declarations of interest. Members are asked to declare, if required, any disclosable pecuniary interest in the item on the agenda. No. And any other interest I may have on the item on the agenda. No. Thank you. And members are reminded to let the clerk know if the register of interest has changed. So move on to the minutes, which is Appendix A. I'll take them one page at a time. So anybody got anything on page 1? Page 2. Do I have a proposer for accepting the minutes? Joy, a seconder. Daniel, thank you. All those in favour of accepting the minutes?
Oh, hang on, the people's...
Joyce.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're abstaining. So all those in favour of them, Joyce and Jean? That's unanimous. Thank you.
You've not got your camera on tonight, have you?
No, not tonight. We're just recording audio. Well, Alison records video. I just didn't feel like carrying it in the rain tonight.
Item 4 is deputations by the public. We have none. Item 5 is Mill Street Christmas decorations, Appendix B. Consider a request and to make any decisions appropriate. Sally Ann, are you leading on this one?
Basically, Mill Street have been moaning and stating that we haven't remembered them this year, so we've been out and priced up some Christmas trees and things so that we can fill up the vacant flagpoles, hopefully, with some trees and make that look a bit more festive down Mill Street as well then.
Joy?
Have the traders happy to decorate them? Have we asked them?
We'll be doing the lights as well.
We'll do the lights on them as well. Okay.
We're being good.
Joyce?
The shopkeepers always used to do their own, and if you look at the Maltons, Mr. Solomon has already done his.
He has.
The problem we have, and I hope I'll be reassured, that we put some flags down at the bottom end of the flag holders, and they fell out onto somebody's car, and there is one shop down there that doesn't like to conform with anything. Just a comment.
Martin first. Martin?
Yeah, I don't mind about this, but they used to pay the Rotary, I believe, or some organisation, £25. I think it's unfair to ask just one street to pay. I think we need to go down the road of getting sponsorship from many of the retailers. That includes the big ones and the small ones. There's not many towns that don't get sponsorship, but just a point of interest, and I did defend the council. At work, I was told when they realised we were going to do something at Mill Street in the canteen, Oakham Town Council only looks out for the snobby shops. Why have you not done Jail Street? Why have you not done Church Street? And whatever else. And I said, well, that's not really fair because, you know, and I went into reasons why lights disappeared from that street. But I think we've made a mistake by only doing the High Street well. And if we do Mill Street, which I'm hoping we will, then I think we're going to get some complaints from other streets. If they're left to do it on their own, they will do it on their own, some, because the cafe in Church Street has put Christmas trees and lights up themselves.
Okay.
Out of
the traders aren't being asked to pay for it. We're going to pay for it.
No.
They're responsible for installation, that is in the liability. Adam, you were next.
I was going to just highlight that bit, Chairman, that my understanding is that the retailer is going to erect them, put the lights on them, and then be responsible and take them down again anyway. And based on that, I would propose that we accept the paper because it's a good idea.
Two more. Dan wanted to say a few words.
Yeah, just to come back to Martin, you are right, it is something we need to watch out for, but Sally Ann and myself, we looked down Jail Street for sort of infrastructure to put them up, and the only things down there are actually 2 flagpoles, and there's one of them is actually tucked out the way so you wouldn't get any benefit from it anyway. It might be something we could look at in the future, but at the moment there's nothing there. So
very quickly then I'll...
Daniel's answered the question.
Okay. Joyce?
Can I just make a point that you direct your comments to the chair and don't have a conversation? Just for those who are interested in doing it properly. Thank you.
We have a proposal by Adam,
I'll
Yes.
second
seconded
it.
by Martin. All those in favour?
Yes.
That's unanimous. Thank you very much. That's another little job you've got to do then. So, right, item 6 is the bin on Huntsman's Drive, Appendix C. Alison, you to consider a request from the County Council on behalf of Biffa to purchase a floor-mounted comfort litter bin. The cost of the purchase, delivery, installation will be £500, and to authorise expenditure up to £500 within the budget heading allocated to street and park furniture. Anything else with that?
There's already one there, it's not a bigger one.
Martin?
I'm going to be voting against this because when residents asked us to put a bin somewhere else, and it was the second time it happened, Rutland County Council said, yes, we can have a bin, but we won't empty them. So we never put the bin in the other place. And I'm quite fed up with Rutland County Council keep coming to us with these what are double taxations, you know, and then they'll tell the residents if we don't do it, it's our fault, like the library when they cut the hours there when they wanted us to pay it. And so that's all I'll say on that, is I won't be supporting it.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, I've never known the county council ever refuse. It's always been an understanding that the town council chairman would pay for bins when requested by members of the public, and then the county council have the contract to empty them and empty them out. And based on that, there's no other comments. I propose that we accept it as long as the bin is the same style as what's on that recreational field, because those metal ones, it is the compass.
Yeah,
they are good quality. Presumably, we'll point out local contractors for it, but I propose to accept, Chairman.
Proposed by Adam, seconded by Louis. All those in favour? 9 against, 1. Thank you very much. Item 7, Christmas tree switch on event. Authorise expenditure of up to £1,000 for road closure, choir and other expenses within the budget heading allocated to promotion in Oakham. Do you want to say anything, Sally?
You should increase that, Sally.
Sorry?
You don't need to increase it.
No.
Can I just ask which choir it is?
It is the small ones.
Right.
Martin?
Yeah, I did ask, and then I got some different figures. But when we're doing an agenda item, there should be a report specifically saying what we are spending the money on. And I've asked for a breakdown of that, because we shouldn't just be approving up to £1,000 for whatever. We should be specifically approving what that £1,000 is for. I have no objection to the event and the money, but I would have expected an appendix to be handed out this evening so we know what we're paying for.
Sally Ann?
Right. The road closure is going to cost us £750. That's just to shut the marketplace.
Exactly.
The choir is
What's that
going,
mean?
the choir is going to cost us £90, which leaves us £160 to purchase mince pies, hot chocolate, and some chocolate gifts for the children that are turning the lights on.
Yeah. which is reasonable.
Alan?
Nobody else has anything to say, I propose we accept it, because it's coming out of an allocated budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proposed by Adam, seconded by...
Can I just ask that it's minuted then for the accounts of what Sally Ann said, how it's broken down, please?
Yep, we can do that.
It's the minute where the money
One
goes.
minute, where-
So there was only 3 things, wasn't it?
minute as in, oh no, I know where the money's going, that's what you want, where the
Yeah.
money's
Yeah,
going.
so
Sorry,
for the
yeah,
accounts,
That's
it's,
what you meant after it's been
Yeah,
spent.
so
sorry.
proposed by Adam, seconded by Daniel, all those in favour? It's unanimous, thank you. Right, planning then, item 8, consider the following applications. So number 1 is erection of the 2 dwellings on land at King's Road. Now we've had this before, if you remember. Seems to, I mean, I've been and I've looked, seems to be the same as before. There's no change into the drawing as far as I can see. We have 22 comments, actually from all over the town, and one from Melton Mowbray, who thinks, the lady from Melton Mowbray thinks that this is exactly what Oakham requires.
Really?
It's 'cause
She
you
don't
know.
live here. But never mind.
A nuclear bunker.
So let's have a quick look, and I'll bring you in a minute, Joy. Just have a. So that's the plan. As far as I could work out, I looked on the county council's site. I couldn't see any difference, other than the fact that somebody did comment that the applicant has now got all his friends to write in support.
Oh.
Personally, I've been down and had a look because I go to the co-op, and I think it's still too much for a small plot. That's my thought. Joy. You want to
I was just going to say the letters are not from all round Oakham, they're from all round the country.
Yeah. They're all over the place,
Yeah,
aren't
the-
they? Which is,
Sussex, Kingston,
yeah.
Cornwall, all over the place. They're
The big
obviously,
time then.
whether people might work in Oakham.
I mean,
there are some from Oakham,
yeah.
but
I didn't know, there is one from a neighbour who said, well, at the end of the day, let's get it built because the site is looking a mess. Now, whether that's something that, well, I was going to put that on our comment, that we asked the applicant to tidy the site up. Joyce?
Have we had any comments from the highways people?
I didn't see any on after 22 that were on there.
Because I've been, it's my ward, and I've been battling for that road to be a one-way system for ages, and to build extra houses who might. Have we got any parking spaces on this?
they've got
There is two
offer
on the
for each
front.
house.
So,
They're the dotted lines on the
2 each.
left-hand side.
Oh, that's more than the, because it's 1 point something, isn't it?
Yes, they've got 2 each, yeah. That is good.
Is this on King's Road?
Yes.
You know,
Yes, you know.
Right next door to the back of the co-op.
You know where the back of the co-op is? There's there
Yeah.
was 2 new houses built about 4 years ago. It's in that plot next
That little
door.
plot.
The Chairman, the only thing I'd
I haven't finished
Oh,
actually.
sorry.
oh, good, yeah.
And it wasn't only me that was battling for a one-way system down there, it was the residents. And then I didn't do the survey, a resident did it and came to me and said, look at this. And we still haven't got a one-way system down there, and I'm sorry, I'm against this until RCC put in a one-way system, because people are having to back out from King's Road onto a very busy Cold Overton Road. Sorry.
Adam?
The observation of it, if it's down there where the Horseshoe Pub used to be, isn't it?
Yes, that's okay.
And as I recall, the Horseshoe Pub had this design. I'm looking at the design and trying to think why they've come up with that design. But the actual design of that building, I feel, doesn't fit with the rest of the properties
No.
on King's Road. And King's Road is actually has got a long history in the town. It's a beautiful set of terrace leading up to the point where then I know it splays out into these new designs that have been put in. So my only concern from a planning consideration would be that it's not in keeping with the other buildings on that street.
No.
That's my only observation.
Joy?
My observation, I agree with you about the terraces, they're very attractive.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they actually stop about 5 properties the other
Yeah.
side of these houses.
Mm.
Yes.
And these are part of a melee, there's 3 bungalows, there's these modern ones which aren't anything like the traditional ones, there's the modern ones on the other side of the road. So from the point of view of saying that they don't match, well, none of it matches at that end. I think that's not really a major consideration.
No, that's what I said.
And they do have 2 parking spaces per drive, so they're not going to be parking hopefully on the road. Okay.
Yeah, I've been down to check this out again as well. Because of the dog leg, due south, as you can see there, after 12 o'clock, because of the height of the existing property, the sun is going to get stopped by both properties. And if you go further north, that property isn't actually going to get any light past 12 o'clock if you judge it from that angle. And that's going to go all the way through to the west. And so, obviously, with the right to light, somebody's going to really pay for that one if we let that go.
Martin?
I can remember it coming to council last time, and I think we said that we didn't want it. I haven't seen anything that makes me want to change. Yes, it is a bit higgledy-piggledy, that end, if I can use that.
It is.
But that happens.
It's very much
But,
so, yeah.
but I'm not sure why they didn't, because it was all part of the same development, just continue that as a terrace or semi-detached with the 2 that they built previously in the garden, which was a lovely garden before they built in it.
Well,
Well, I agree partly with Joyce. It could do with a one-way system down there, but I don't think we should if you like, penalise this project.
no, we need to. We have to look at this on its merits. So, Joy, comments?
I think there's a comment in there somewhere that it is that they are eco houses, that they have been designed to be more eco-friendly, which is a point in its favour.
With 2 parking spaces.
The thing is, we've already refused it last time.
Yes.
I think, and as far as I can see, nothing has changed. Personally, I think we should be consistent and say the same comments should go forward that we gave last time. That's my personal opinion. Trying to be consistent as an authority on planning grounds. Sorry.
I was just going to say, I remember it coming before as well, Chairman, and we had long discussions about actually realistically you would fit 2 modern cars on the space that's allocated, especially not 2 lots of 2 side by side. So that's still going to, and the fact that the plans haven't been changed, I would agree that we should submit the same responses before.
Can you find that? What we had last night. Is everybody happy that we continue with we feel it? I think we said there's own development of the site last time. And probably just put a caveat in that we might look favourable on 1 dwelling on that plot, because at least we'd get something on the plot and that'd get it tidied up, wouldn't it? And that would give them an idea of to where from this authority where we're heading. We think 1, but 2 no.
Looking at the size of the plots of the 2 to the south, the 2 new brick red ones, and if you look at that piece of land, it's actually smaller than the piece of land we're looking at.
It's just
And
a
yet
funny
they've got 2
shape.
houses on that.
Yeah, it's just the shape, though, isn't it? That's the trouble.
Well, try to use the shape.
And
by
obviously-
making
and
the
obviously-
houses straight.
We don't know what the county council said last time, do we? Because obviously they must have refused it as well, because that's why it's come back again.
Yeah.
And that was it.
So,
If I could just add, I know I made this comment about the design. One of the images, as you scroll down the other way, Alison, keep going, there's a black and white, there's a grey image with a white over a print, so keep going down, it was on the same picture. And this, keep going, it is there, that one there, that's what I mean. So if you're looking at this now, the look of the overall, yes, there are higgledy-piggledy houses down there as you get down to that end, but those buildings are completely different. So the actual look of the area changes. If I think if the Horseshoe Pub was still there, I wouldn't have an issue with it, but it's not there anymore. So the people that are on the other side of the road, whichever it is,
Yeah.
not King Road, but more parallel with it,
West
West Road,
yeah.
as they look now, instead of seeing apex roofs or whatever, they'll be seeing these angled flat roofs, so it's not in keeping with the general look of it. So people from those chimney pots on the far side looking in our direction would see this. So I think that is still a consideration. Is it just? I've seen there's 2 houses on Northcote Street which have been put on a plot which is way too small, and they're conventionally built looking houses. I think that's far too tight. But they've been built in a conventional fashion,
Yes.
straight up, with an apex roof. So, and I think probably they could
Yeah.
certainly achieve the
In
same
a-
there.
In
So,
a different
Is
place.
everybody happy that we submit the same comment that we did last time?
Yeah.
So can I propose?
In a different place,
By
it's not a
Sally Ann,
bad
seconded
building.
by Dan. All those in favour? That's, are you in or out? Joy?
I'm going to abstain on this
You
one.
have said, okay, so that's 9, then 1 abstention. Thank you. Right, number 2, Mr Martinez, change of use from B1 to holistic therapy. And this is, I did look at this, is change of use, there are no comments at all from anybody, nobody neighbours. And this is on 21 Burley Road. Adam?
It's a change of use, there's no change to the fabric of the building, anything like that, and it's a business looking to redevelop, so
Yeah, I
there's
think,
no comments.
if you go further down, it does show you that it's offices at the minute, and they're going to
Yeah.
turn the offices into 2 therapy
Yeah.
rooms, if I remember
Yeah.
rightly. Alison.
Yeah.
So I would, if there's no other comments, I would propose that we accept it. There's not going to be any weird signage going up, is it?
As far as, I didn't see anything on the application,
So I would propose that it's accepted.
I think it might be retrospective because I think they're already in there.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay.
Proposed by Adam, seconded by Joy. All those in favour? Thank you. Number 3 is Mr Burrows, and it's replacing the existing shop front, repaint from the existing grey cream with cream letters on cream letters to cream with background with grey letters.
It's fabulous.
So it's fat face. So they're going to change round what they've already got. It is only listed building consent. Personally, I thought the change will actually make it blend a lot better. With
Is
the,
it fat fish?
Yes.
I can't look at it's
No,
too
it's very
bright
good,
for
yeah.
me. Anything's better than the
Grey.
glossy way they've got it.
yeah,
at the moment.
it's grey. It's grey with cream letters in it, but they're going to do cream with grey letters, which I think will be.
Yes.
So should we have our commenters? Yes, we approve and welcome the change.
Welcome it.
Yes. Yeah.
Grey's
So
gone
I'll-
out
I'll
of fashion.
propose that. Seconded
Yeah.
by Joy. All those in favour?
Yeah.
That's unanimous. Thank you. Number 4 is Mr Armitage. Proposed temporary dwelling to accommodate workers. This is a resubmission. At Glebe Farm, Cold Overton. We did support it last time, apparently. It was refused on the 8th of January 2018, apparently, according to the papers I looked at. I must admit, my initial reaction was, this is not for workers, this is for a family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because workers wouldn't have a master bedroom with an ensuite.
No.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that's.
What the local land girls are going to end up with a bedroom with an ensuite. No, this is a temporary. This is a permanent house made of wood. So it's not a temporary building. But that was just my observation. Anybody want to kick us off?
This, Chairman, this used to be just one little bungalow, and the owner has been extending this little bungalow for years. Even when I was on the Rutland County Council, and that's going back some time, they refused to have it extended. Now it's getting into a bit of a palace.
Shantytown.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that cannot be a reason for refusing.
No.
I'm just making a
Yeah.
comment of what it used to be like. And this owner
Can we
has
go back to the site, the
has
location
gone
site?
on and on and on, extending, bit by bit. And what will happen, they'll resubmit it in May next year when there's a new council at Rutland County Council, and they'll get it. I've been there, done that,
I don't know if you'll get it.
but it's no excuse.
I mean,
When it's got, sorry,
so no, go on.
when it's got proposed temporary dwelling,
Yeah.
is that elaborated anywhere? Is it
No,
to do
no,
with-
because I looked at that to see whether there was a timescale, and it's not. What they're using the word as temporary is because it's a wooden structure that can be dismantled.
Yeah.
That's how you get a temporary building.
Then it'll be brick.
Yeah.
And from what you said there, just because it is a temporary building doesn't mean you have to take it down.
And
No.
there's no, they haven't applied for a timescale to say it's a temporary building for 2 years while we see whether the farm's viable or the state. Because often then you get this with livery stables, don't you, where they need to put a house on there to see whether it's viable, so they put a temporary one on first, then come back for a proper house when they know that the livery stable's viable. So that was just worldly advice.
Is there any highway thing?
No, there was no comments whatsoever from anybody. So, anybody? Happy?
What,
Happy?
what
Martin?
happened last time? Did you
You
say?
said
According to blur through on the county council, it was refused on the 8th of January 2018.
Because of?
It didn't say, it just said it was refused.
So has he waited this length of time to come back again?
Yeah, from what I can work out.
Where is it on
This is
here?
slow writing.
Oh, it's in that,
Is it the red bit?
yeah, that's the access to it. So it's going to be in there, so in that, that's the lot of land that's
Right.
going on.
Do you think he's trying to do this to eventually build properly?
Yeah,
I think
it sounds
that's
like
Yeah,
it.
probably. Paul?
Yeah, as you say, quite that's been a temporary building. Can we not ask for a time scale? No, when's it going to go?
Oh, typical technical agricultural appraisal. I think it was on there. Was that the one? Here we go. Yeah, the previous application refused by notice on the 8th of January. The reason given for the decision Richard County situation as there is a renewal constructed dwelling on site, which is adequate to provide
Yes.
emergency cover.
Yes.
So, yeah, so I meant to write that down in notes and I didn't.
Yeah.
We approved this last time because I think we was applauding this development based on the dairy farm was looking for new people so that their business could grow, which we accepted that getting workforce.
Yeah.
And dairy farming is still quite a skilled requirement. You know, a herdsman is quite a rarity in Stainsborough, I think. I would say that if the county council refused it, they've probably done it based on the fact that they have concerns about this. Is it going to be just turned into a permanent?
Yeah.
The only thing I'd say is, why don't we just be bold about this? And we haven't really found any reason to refuse it, but maybe we should just go back to the Glebe Farm and say, why don't you just resubmit an application to put a permanent building there? And actually go the whole hog. Do that? Because to me, I think it's a case of, on this one, taking the bull by the horn.
Yes.
And
How dare
we supported it before because we saw it as an opportunity for this workforce to be engaged and work on its locality. There's certainly enough room on the plot. The red bit indicates that they've even got a separate access to it. So,
Okay.
I personally, I wouldn't object to it on this occasion because I've already supported it once before and there's nothing that suggests to me, if there's no comments from the Rutland County Council as to why it has been rejected, then it should either go as it is now, with the caveat that maybe the people that are there just, you know, maybe there may be costs that prevent them
Yeah,
from
I
doing
mean,
this.
the only reason they could bring back in the might be a bit nice, is as it says on there, it was outside their policy, so,
Yeah.
Martin.
But it also says on there that they already have a new existing building. The other thing, Adam, I'm not having a dig at you, but sorry. But the fact that you're a Rutland County Councillor, does that not cause you a problem on this? That the fact that it's been refused and then you're telling us to, or suggesting we should carry on improving it.
Chairman, I'm sticking by what I said originally on this council. If this came up at Rutland County Council on a meeting that I was at, I would declare an interest at that meeting.
Okay, that's why I was just checking, because you know with planning how difficult it can get with law and...
Well, at the end of the day, Adam's stated making a comment, and he is only one member. When we get to the proposals, members will make that choice whether we approve or not.
And it is on planning considerations.
Yeah.
I would imagine that the policy states that a new building is classed, a new dwelling is classed as 12 months, which is why the application has waited this long to come through. And if that was the only reason that the applicant was rejected and that is no longer valid, there doesn't really seem much point rejecting it.
Daniel?
It's his land. It's not causing an offence, but as far as I'm aware. I mean, if he wants to put something on now, obviously I support what's being said. I agree with what, you know, if you can put a permanent structure there, why not? But if it's his land, I think we may be being a bit draconian on this.
Okay. Joy? And then we'll take a proposal.
It's right on the edge of Oakham. If we're looking at what the county council is saying, there is somewhere there for someone for living on site, and we have houses in Oakham where other workers could live, which is just up the road. Do we want to be building more and more over our countryside and spreading out across the countryside? I mean, once he gets a temporary building, then presumably it will then want to be a permanent building, and then will there be another one, and then we'll have a little housing estate up there, and they'll say, well, we've got 2 or 3 houses, so why don't we put several more up there? And then we've got and then we have the question, we've got families up there with children, we're going to be asked to provide buses to collect them to and from school, when they could be living in Oakham where we have lots of houses. So you know, is it just a development by the back door? It's
Joyce?
just a question I'm asking.
Sorry, Joy, sorry. Joyce finished. Joyce, sorry.
Yep.
No, Joyce?
I was just picking up on that actually, because it's no use saying it's his land. It will be a development.
Yeah.
Considering what it was to what it could be a hotel by the time we finish.
Right, I think that anybody else want to make any comments before we go? No, right, let's have a proposal then, please, of any description.
Well, I didn't vote at the last one. So, I mean, I wasn't here
Yeah.
the last time it was submitted, so I'll make my own mind.
I would vote to reject it.
So so you're proposing that we reject on the grounds of development in the countryside?
Overdevelopment.
Development of greenfield land.
Okay. Paul? Is that seconded? Seconded by Paul. Any amendments, anything else? All those in favour of that, please, refusal on those grounds, please show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Against? 1. Abstaining? 3. Thank you. All right. Number 5 is Fang Yang. I had trouble with this earlier on. First floor extension, including dormer windows to the rear, 34 Knoll Avenue. There was 2 comments, but no objections on this one.
Yeah.
And the comments were, oh,
Does this near you?
go ahead.
Sorry?
Paul, is this near you?
It is, yeah.
Are you really close? What number are you?
I'm number 6, but we're...
Oh, that's fine, that's fine. I thought you were
No,
the
It's not your neighbour.
closer. No, that's fine then. So I thought you were right close to it. Sorry.
We don't know. Just have so that's the block plan. What's all there's the floor plan. That's
It's door window, we need
yeah.
It's effectively going from a bungalow to a chalet bungalow, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
basically. There was 2 neighbours. Look at the neighbours' comments. That's from 35. Win.
No
No
objection.
comment.
no.
No objection.
There's a lot of development down there at
That
that end of the
one's,
road.
Lots of support as well.
So